Your nervous system is a vital part of your healing. So in my last video, I was sharing that I was mowing the lawn. And for those of you who don't know, I spent the better portion of the last year and a half pretty bedbound. I use a wheelchair for outings of longer style outings. And I can't walk very far without exhaustion, sometimes getting up from being on the ground, like going from like a low position to a high position can cause me to get really dizzy, or possibly faint, come near fainting. And these are just symptoms that I live with from several post-viral conditions. And I was sharing that I'm trying to build safety into this reconditioning. So into bringing some movement back into my life, bringing some strength things, I don't want to say strength training. I'm not training, but I want to be able to add things back into my life that I used to really enjoy or that were normal for me. And mowing the lawn was one of those things. But when I mention creating that safety, I just want to dive a little bit deeper into that and share what that might look like. So, for example, if I was to go for a walk around the block right now, I would likely feel very nervous the entire time. So and rightfully so, I've been in situations where things like that have been dangerous and I don't know how I'm going to get home, or I get really sick halfway and can't go on. And so for me to just go for a walk right now without support, without a wheelchair, without somebody there with me, or a car nearby to pick me up, is probably not the safest thing for me to do right now in reality. And on top of that, it's probably not likely to be helpful to my recovery because I'm likely to be nervous the entire time. So I already know some of the thoughts that are likely to go through my head if I were to do that. Like, how far am I going to get? Am I going to be able to get back once I get to wherever I'm going? If I'm going all the way around the block, am I going to get halfway around the block and then realize that I can't make it any further? And then what happens? And part of the challenges with some of my symptoms is that they come on fast and strong. So I'll think that I'm okay, and then all of a sudden I'm really not okay. And I'm, having to sit down, head between my knees, like thinking, about to faint if I'm standing, things like that. And those are POTS symptoms and other symptoms. So you can picture it, right? If you're walking around the block and the whole time you're saying to yourself, am I going to be okay? Is this safe for me? Am I at risk here? If I get halfway around the block, am I going to be able to make it back? What happens if I get halfway around the block and I can't make it back? What happens if I faint right here in the middle of the road and there's nobody here to help me? My area doesn't have sidewalks. What happens if I, you can hear the narrative. And so this is like two-factored, right? Two-pronged. A, it's not really safe for me to go do that right now. I understand that. My doctors have made that clear. And I have to work within what is physically actually safe for me right now. And then the second prong is that's not safe for my nervous system. And that's not going to develop a sense of safety in my recovery and in adding movement back in if the whole time I'm panicked, or even like, not even panicked, but just this like underlying nervousness and uncertainty is not going to add that safety that is what is required to remind my body that I am safe to move. I am safe to go do these things, go try these things. And I guess there's a third prong where if I am too far away and I have to push it too hard to get home, and then I overdo it, and then I crash, then that's adding a layer of like danger to my nervous system as well if I experience a crash in the days afterwards. So when I said that I'm choosing to mow the lawn, like it might sound like kind of a funny choice instead of going for a walk or, doing something else. And the reason being is that I have something to hold on to when I'm mowing the lawn. I have something to kind of steady myself. My lawnmower is like newer and lighter and cordless and battery operated. I'm not like goofing around with wires or worried about tripping hazards, things like that. And I'm at home. I'm in my own backyard. So worst case scenario, I have to stop and sit down or stop and abandon the lawnmower in the backyard and come inside and lie down, right? And same with if I'm in the front yard, I have some awesome neighbors. Like worst case scenario, they see me struggling and check on me, or I just go sit on the front bench, right? So that creates this layer of safety that tells my nervous system it is safe to try. It is safe to move your body. It is safe to go out and do this thing that you haven't been able to do in years, right? I relapsed in 2020 and I don't think I've mowed the lawn since then. And although I relapsed in 2020, like my big bed bound period didn't come until 2024. No, 2023. And I have, been in bed the better portion of like since then. So I'm really making a lot of progress. I have experienced miraculous healing, and I'm still quite disabled from these conditions. I don't want to give this false perception that I'm further along than I am. I still use a wheelchair on longer outings. I still don't walk around the block. I still don't typically care for my kids alone, things like that. And I am creating the safety in my nervous system to be able to recondition in the ways that are safe for me at this time. So if you are in that situation too, then please, when you start taking these steps, don't leave your nervous system out of it. Don't leave that safety, that felt sense of safety out of it.